So it's official, Rally.io is shutting down. In case you're not familiar with the situation, Rally is a sidechain that features creator coins, NFTs, and integrations with some very unique features that allowed for e-commerce, token-gated merchandise sales, and a lot of things that were very interesting. And a lot of people, that was their entry point into Web3. But it was announced that they are officially shutting down. So today we're going to discuss what that means for the creator economy. Hello, I'm Taj, digitally known as Tropic Vibes, the host of Nifty Business, where we highlight NFTs and explore Web 3.0 as we move from pure speculation to creating real-world value. So, although many users found out today via an email, which I'll get to in a second, many of the creators that are on the platform actually knew about this towards the end of last year. So this day was sort of coming. They were hoping for the best, that maybe something would have developed. Maybe they would have found more funding or what have you. But the email came out today. It is officially shutting down, and basically they're jumping ship. But the actual text of the email, let me just get to that. That way you can actually see the context of it in case you haven't received this. To the Rally community, we're announcing with regret that Rally Sidechain will begin to sunset after today. This means that after today, the site will no longer be supported, and you may experience a degradation in the services, or it may simply become inoperable. Additionally, since NFTs on the Rally sidechains are not transferable to mainnet, these will no longer be accessible once the site shuts down. As most of you are aware, 2022 was a challenging year not only for the platform, but also the entire crypto industry. The team has worked relentlessly to try to find a path forward. However, the challenges and the macro headwinds are too overwhelming to overcome in the current environment. Although this is not the outcome that we all hope for and work towards, we have not given up on our missions and our belief in the future of empowering creators and communities with Web3 experiences. Indeed, the Rally sidechain was the beginning of your Web3 journey, but not the destination. It is with this spirit that we are exploring whether we should build learner Web3 experiences and or products on mainnet. However, there are a number of factors that need to happen to make this reality. We want to thank the Rally community for all of your support, patience, dedication, and belief in the Rally sidechain. To the future of Web3, the Rally team. So, let me sum that up with three major takeaways from this. Number one, the site is not going to be supported anymore. So if you are someone who's running, let's say, Windows XP or Windows 7 or whatever it might be, one of those old operating systems, yeah, sure, the machine can run. However, you're going to see this whole bunch of bugs. The experience is going to be so bad that eventually, regardless of if you plan to get a new machine or not, you're just going to get fed up with it and you're going to abandon it. You're just going to jump ship because it is just not worth the headache anymore. And that's pretty much what's going to happen. When it says it is unsupported and things might become inoperable, well, why be over there anyway? So a lot of people, although the website, the homepage might be up, the experience is going to be so terrible that really it's dead at this point. It's going to be tumbleweeds and you might see the buildings, the structures up, but no one's going to be in the town. Number two, I want to point out the difference between sidechains and layer 2. So unlike Polygon, Optimism, Arbitrum, and quite a few others that are layer 2s, Rally is a sidechain. And think of a sidechain as sort of like two train tracks running parallel to each other. And at any point, there might be a crossover where that information can actually swap over and go onto the different train track. Very simple analogy, but it's not exactly perfect. However, it gives a very good picture of what a sidechain is. It's running parallel, and then there are points at which information can transfer between the two, as opposed to a layer 2, where it's actually literally built on that first layer. So Polygon, Arbitrum, Optimism, all those that I just mentioned, they're built on top of Ethereum. So think of it like a skyscraper. Ethereum is the foundation, and the subsequent floors and businesses that are running on top of each floor are all dependent on the foundation being strong. Again, not exactly the best analogy, but just giving you an idea so you can visualize the difference between parallel train tracks running and a skyscraper building up. And takeaway number 3 from this thing is, well, be wary of sidechains, because as we can see right here, yes, the sidechain might have been convenient, might have been gas-free and quick and so forth, and all the things that we enjoyed about the Rally ecosystem. Well, if the sidechain goes down and is not supported anymore, it's not like there is a massive network in the case of Ethereum where everything is decentralized and nodes all over the world. Well, in a case like Rally, it is pretty much a centralized system, and people were building on that running parallel to Ethereum, and it is dependent on that centralized ecosystem. So in this case, once it goes down, guess what? It's going to be inoperable, and basically that whole blockchain, everything that is running, is going to be useless. So, of course, they pointed out the whole macroeconomics and stuff. Okay, no need to even go into that. We all see what's happening within Web3, 2022. It has been a complete disaster. But what this really comes down to is this is a VC-backed or venture capital-backed firm, meaning that the major company that was funding them before, they just lost their stomach for this. And as far as how VC stinks, they're trying to maximize profits. And also, it's very known in Silicon Valley, and this, yes, is a San Francisco-based company, is that you fail quickly. So they see that these are not really going in the right direction. Adoption is not coming quickly. And rather than pouring more money into it and hoping that education and all those efforts will eventually lead to a profit, just cut your losses right now and move on to the next project. Because how VCs actually work is they might throw their money at 10 projects and they're hoping to get a huge return from one or two of those, and it's going to cover all their losses and help them to go play the game again. And they're just going to look for the next idea and they're going to move on. So unlike a fully vested founder who's running on their own money, bootstrapping it and building it, they'll literally take out a mortgage for the house. They'll put everything in it, lease a car, they'll downsize, they'll do everything they possibly can to save their startup, running out of a garage, whatever it might be. That is not how a VC is looking at it. It is not their company. All they're looking at is a return. Because at the end of the day, unlike these businesses that they're investing in, their product is their money. So their whole goal is trying to get a profit. So that is just the business model. That is the bed that they got into, and it is what it is. Can't fault the team there. They got their funding. They tried something great. We were all the guinea pigs. We all signed up for this. We knew it could fail in theory. And it didn't work out. It's just like anything else in the whole Web3 space. It really sucks for that team that, really they might be looking back at all the community members and everyone that they activated, brought on, some great creators that were building on the platform, bringing their communities in and so forth, and then having to break the news to them that, look, this whole thing is getting shut down, and those creators are going to have to turn around and go to their communities and say, look, I'm sorry, we're going to have to figure out a way to either relocate, we're going to have all the benefits of the tokens and the NFTs that were over there, but they're going away. I know this whole promise was sold to you, but guess what? It failed. We're sorry, and so forth. So now you see a lot of creators that are going on the creator apology tour, trying to either send some sort of benefits to their community, meaning that they're going to somehow have some utility for all the stuff that is going to be lost. And that is something that they really knew was coming down the pipeline since the end of last year. So like the top creators that were really on this, they have told their communities well before this email came out today. So hopefully they weren't blindsided. However, you can't say that is true for every creator that was on the platform, because even I tried to get on the platform actually very early. I shouldn't say very early. I would say about a year and a half ago, I had applied to try to get on there, and I wasn't getting on there. And I realized that a huge problem that the creators that were on the platform were having is that they weren't really educators. They weren't educating an audience on how to get onto there and how the benefits of this stuff could be used, how the NFTs could be used. And yeah, they might be big on Instagram, TikTok, and so forth, because what you had to do is you had to apply, have a certain amount of followers and so forth. And then either you were rejected or accepted, and then it was your job to onboard the creators. Well, a lot of people with massive followings had no clue how to onboard anyone into Web3, and that was a problem that they were having. So I was like, okay, I see an opportunity here, education. My audience is filled with people that are into Web3, so it would be a great touch point. So luckily, I did not get onto the platform, because most likely I would have been building and doing things on there. But I would say with about 6 months after getting that whole notification of saying that, no, I was not accepted and maybe in the future I would be, I had actually started to explore other options. And I started to think that, you know what? I think the best solution would actually having an NFT, a token gated pass or whatever it might be, on either Ethereum or one of these layer 2s rather than a sidechain. And I was thinking that probably about a year ago. However, seeing that they were such a big company, they're VC backed and all that, I was like, all right, you know what? This team probably will figure it out. They had enough creators, enough influence behind them that it would probably work. So as far as that goes, I had, 4 or 5 different creator coins that I was holding, and pretty much right now, all of them are going to zero. So at this point, yes, a lot of people are going to say, you know what? I can't believe these creators got me into this. Well, first and foremost, no, these creators did not get you into anything. You knew from day one that you were actually buying something that could very well go to zero, because let's say that creator actually dies. Yeah, in theory, it still has value. The community could use that token, but the most part, the value of that token is linked to a creator. So they could stop making content, they could leave the space, anything could happen. And we knew that coming into it. However, we didn't think it was going to end that quickly, that rally would have fallen apart and the team itself would have jumped ship. But the way I look at it too is say, all right, yes, okay, the bag that I had in there, all right, now it's going to zero. But the other way that I could look at this is, okay, cool. The bag that I have is going to zero. Those creator tokens, those rally rewards, everything that was coming out, that is going to be no more. However, the positive side is for over a year, the utility that I was getting out of this, mainly from the ADHD coin, was so worth it anyways that it really doesn't matter to me now that it's going to zero. Yes, it is sad to see this community fall apart as far as the rally community, not the ADHD coin community. That's a different thing altogether. Each of these creators still have their strong followings, strong communities, discords, and engagements and so forth. But what I'm talking about is actually on the platform, the various creators that were there, and the community that was actually built natively on Rally, that community is falling apart. However, there is opportunity to take these learnings onto what's going on in the future. And we all knew we're pioneers, we're dabbling, we're testing the stuff out, we're making and breaking this stuff. It's all a part of the game. And in 10 years, we'll look back at this and say, wow, you know what? There's so many technologies and platforms that are built with the knowledge that we pulled from the rally failing and all these other ones, Luna and so forth. And now this space is ready for mainstream, bringing grandma, bringing everyone. And guess what? Without these failures, we would never reach that point. But I would love to know, what are your thoughts on this whole thing as far as where ETH is and layer 2s and side chains like Rally? What are your thoughts on all that? Because where I am pretty much right now at this point, I'm thinking ETH and layer 2s is where it's at. I don't think I'll be putting any more effort or energy into these side chains or even considering building a community on one. But I'd love to know, what are your thoughts on that? If there's any out there that maybe I've overlooked, some cool projects or anything, please feel free to reach out to me at Tropic Vibes on Twitter. But as usual, just want to thank you for taking time to listen to this as we're learning and building Web3 together. So until next time, later. The Nifty Business Arrow is not investment advice. It provides insights and information within the space. As with anything, please do your own research before making a decision whether you're making an investment or a purchase.